Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Larry.
How's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
Good. Sorry, no music today. I'm up here at the ranch, and so I'm actually on my cell phone because we're hosting an event, and I got about 20 people in my ranch, so it's not as quiet, and I don't have everything that I usually do here. That's all right. Give everybody just a couple of minutes to sign on here. Kyle Glover, I'm sorry I missed you up here at the ranch, brother. We must have been just passing each other there as I was going into town and you were coming out here.
Yeah, I'll shoot out today. Let me know if y'all need anything.
All right, sounds
All
good,
right,
man.
sounds
All right, guys. I have us at the top of the hour here, and as usual, let's start with some good things going on. What kind of things are we grateful for right now? It could be business, it could be personal, it could be life. Who has something good going on right now? Hi, guys. We've been doing this for what, 4 years now? Like, this should not be a new part of this scheduled programming here.
Kelly, you have one you can share of ours. I'm prospecting, so
I do.
you do. Well, how many? We took a couple listings this week, I think, didn't we? And we got one new REO.
Oh yeah, sorry. We got a couple listings, an REO that's turning into two REOs because the owner or the bank owns the property right next door, and that's foreclosing. So we just found out that they use them as Airbnbs. So I foresee that market getting hit pretty hard right now. So yeah, that's our wins.
Yeah,
Guys,
and real quick,
go for it, Jeff.
I was just gonna say, speaking of Airbnbs, real quick, Larry. If you're not going after Airbnb owners right now, you should be. I've actually got them all loaded up in my three-line dialer, and I'm going through and hitting, all of Orange County, every Airbnb owner, and you can get a list from the city because they have to register from the city. Anyway, just a little side tip.
That was going to be my question. I was like, where do you get the list? And they have to register. That is genius. Guys, that is worth the price of admission for this entire call alone. That information right there. Because like everybody bought Airbnbs in 2020, right? Because they were like, damn, we had to do a lot of these staycations and stuff. And oh, I can just rent it out whenever I'm not using it type thing. And like they're not making as much money, right? Like even though my ranch was rented out every weekend last year, except for one, the rents are probably half the amount that they were in the past. And so I'm grateful that, my ranch is like it covers the mortgage note and all of the bills. That's all I can ask for at this point in time. But other people are not as lucky because areas like Orange County, there's a lot of competition and stuff. So, and the price points might be a lot higher. So they might not be covering that. That is a huge tip right there, Jeff Russell. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then here's the other part. When we start talking about that, this is where I would be looking at, different types of private money lenders. So think who do we say? It would be like Templeview Capital, which is, within our network and stuff right now. We have Templeview Capital, there's Anchor Loans, private money lenders, anybody like that, I would be targeting. I have 5 properties in Phoenix that I'm trying to help a private money lender assign. There were 5 high dollar flips. They are $1.7 to $5.7 million a piece. Like, Jeff is not wrong. There is a big opportunity. And like Jeff just mentioned, like, that guy didn't own 1 property. He owned 5 properties, right? He went all in on this adventure and stuff here. And you're going to find that there's a lot of these investors that own multiple properties at the same time. So that is huge. Robbie, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, I can add a win as well. So two things. One, another closing happening today. We were supposed to close early next week, but we were able to pull in the dates. So buyers getting the keys probably later today evening. And the second one is, yeah, I did talk to another agent who just got her license. Hopefully she'll be joining our team pretty soon as well. So very excited to join EXP. I've been talking to her for the past couple of weeks, and she seems all eager to join and jump the bandwagon and start helping all the clients out there.
Beautiful, man. Congratulations on that. You're just continuing to roll over there, man. Congratulations. You're doing a lot of good stuff. Your entire group up there in Northern California. That's awesome.
Thank you, Larry.
Absolutely. Beautiful, guys. And who has the last win for this week?
Well, Larry, hey, Robert Weichelt here, buddy. You at the ranch?
I am, man. Yep, we're here at Wild Soul Sanctuary.
That is the most beautiful place on earth, my friend. Enjoy. We closed 2 transactions yesterday. Both used the online offers system. Both had driven thousands. One of them drove 14,000 views to the property, hundreds of buyers to the property for the open house, multiple offers for my sellers to review, and a much higher sales price. So very, very stoked about the systems we have in place.
Man, that is beautiful. And can you, like, I know you're working on some kind of mentoring training. You want to give everybody a sneak peek of kind of what you're working on so that others could kind of duplicate that success?
Absolutely. I don't want to bottle this up and just keep it to myself. I want to be able to share what I'm doing, the systems that I'm using, the methods that I'm using, and what's driving the whole big picture, the biggest squeeze of that juice. So you can, for instance, using this online offer system, getting more listings, getting listings that you would normally not have a chance to take, number one. Number two, because of the pricing strategy, we're driving hundreds of views, hundreds of guests to the open house. So our buyer agents, those agents that we're bringing to our organization, have the ability to jump on the ground right away and start doing transactions. So I'm going to be sharing my story over the last year that I've been developing this, and I'm going to be sharing it with every agent on the planet. I am here to help them. I am here as a resource, and Carla and I are so excited. We're doing it from our motorhome, Larry, and we're doing it on our terms, and I cannot wait to roll it out. It's going to be fantastic.
Beautiful, man. You are crushing it and stuff there, man. That is, love to hear it. And, like we kind of taught everybody about kind of this online offers platform all at the same time. And I can just tell you that Robert is the one that picked it up and ran with it, right? Like Robert, leaned into it and has had just the most amount of success that I think anybody could have asked for. And so, yeah, that's beautiful. Now, we help others with duplication of it, right? We systematize it at the same time. So that's great, man. Congratulations. Beautiful, guys. Well, today's call, I wanted to focus on patterns of success, right? And I have a couple of things in mind, of things that I've noticed and stuff on my side. But what I want to hear some things from you guys. What do you guys see as patterns of success? Like, what kind of things do you guys see that top producers top athletes, top people in your industry and other industries, people that you deem successful, right? Maybe it's not even in business, right? What kind of things do you guys see in others that you aspire to be, that you can see as consistent? And so let's start there with that question. Consistency. What do you mean by that, Ed Kowalski?
Hey, so yeah, I mean, everybody who's successful that I know sticks to a core business and just consistently works that business, and they do well. That's it.
And you know, I think this one is near and dear to Ed Kowalski. Him and I do some coaching and stuff every now and then, and Ed like gets really fired up. Like he'll see something and he'll be like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to change the world." And I think almost anything can change the world. Almost anything can be that beneficial as long as you use it, right? That is a blessing and a curse to see that optimism in almost any project that you look at, because as you're starting to crush it with one thing, there's other bright, shiny objects that come in that you're like, oh, well, that can change the world too. And that can change the world too. And then you have the 10 different things sitting there in front of you that could all change the world, but now you're out of time because you don't have enough time to do those things. And so this is where I've been working with Ed of what does his business plan look like? And now you follow that business plan. So if you don't have a business plan, that's the first step, right? Like you don't even know what you should follow. And so now you might be out there hustling and grinding at the end of the day. But that business plan should tell you what you need to do each day, each week, each month, each year. Now, if something else comes up, the first question that I ask him is, Ed, does this fit with your business plan? Right? If it aligns, if it amplifies, if it helps, great, use it. But what you're doing is already working, right? When you put your head down and decide to go to work, you get massive results. Stay the course every single day, right? Ed, anything you want to add to that, my friend?
Yeah, so I have another coach now, and he said, he said this yesterday. He was like, that's all great. He was like, that's a great idea. He said, but I would rather you have one iron in the fire at 100% than 5 irons in the fire at 20%. You know what I mean? So you're constantly, or you have 5 fires, right? And you're trying to keep them all going at the same time, and you're adding wood to the fire and this fire, and then you're running over this fire because it's going out, and you're adding wood to that. And that's why I think in real estate, we get so like, there's so many different opportunities, right, that we get presented with. And it's just, like you said, stay the course, just work the plan day in and day out. And that's what I meant by consistency,
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your pillars of business that you have going on right now, Ed? Like what are the 3 or 4 things that you're focusing on right now?
Well, I mean, I've got my agent marketing platform, Top Tier Realtor, right? That helps agents get leads. I've got the REO and the BPO stuff, and just promoting REO Alliance. That really, those are the 4 things.
Just wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over again, right?
Right.
That is it. Yeah, beautiful. I know Jeff Russell had chimed in there and was going to say the same thing with consistency and stuff as well. Yeah, that's a big one, guys. Success is not always sexy, but it is consistent. Like, man, I have tried so many easy buttons and failed miserably, right? So many get rich quick schemes and stuff like that. And none of them have actually worked. It's actually putting in the work every single day, whether it comes to your body, your business, your relationships. right? It doesn't have to be like terrible. It doesn't have to be agonizing. And this is where, going back to our conversation from last week, love what you effing do, right? Like, enjoy this process, right? Otherwise, it's going to beat you up, right? Find a way to love it. Find a way, like, I love connecting with more people. I love seeing you guys at different conferences and stuff like that. I mean, Jeff and I are talking almost every single day at this point in time because we're working on so many different projects and stuff together at this point. And I love it, right? I could not imagine being in a better place at this point in time. So love what you do. Great way to start off that conversation and stuff there, Ed. Who has something else? What else do you guys see, in people that are consistent? Or people that are consistent, people that are, excuse my language, successful. What other kind of patterns of success do you guys see?
I think a good time management in Joseph Limo's class, excuse me, we've been going through time management, and that has usually worked for me very well. And sticking to it. And your time management can be different than the other person, but as long as it's a time management and you follow it, you get there.
Man, that's a really good one as well, right? Because you'll find once you get busier and busier, right? Like, things keep getting added onto your plate. And this is where you find agents going through this up and down roller coaster because they stop doing the things that made them successful to begin with. So they'll put all these deals in escrow because they did the right things, because they had it on their calendar, etc. They had great time management, and then they're trying to manage all of these deals, and they stop prospecting. They stop following up with their leads. They stop adding them to their database. They stop doing this until all of those deals close, and they're like, oh shit, I need more business, right? And they get back to it, right? And they go through this evolving, cycle. And this is where, man, Jeff Russell's here on this call, but he's prospecting every Orange County expired in FSBO that's coming on here right now. And he just posted something else. He's doing like 4 things at one time right now. He's like an octopus over there. But it's crazy, right? Like, but this is on his calendar for his prospecting time. This is also on his calendar for this particular event every single week, right? And so he sticks to it. And that's it. It doesn't have to be, hey, Kristen, we have to prospect for 8 hours today, right? Because you're going to get burnt out. Like, this is where your business plan comes into place, right? And, the most common answer for agents is that they want to produce $100,000 or $150,000. As I talked to a lot of agents about their business plan. Well, I can tell you statistically, for most areas around the country, if you want to do that, that is probably somewhere between 15 and 20 homes a year in most areas. And in order to do that, that is somewhere between 5 and 8 contacts a day. 5 and 8 contacts a day. So how long would it take you to make 5 to 8 contacts a day? Well, that depends who you're calling, right? If you're calling leads that don't know your number and stuff like that, it's going to take more. If you're calling people that already know, like, and trust you that are in your database, it's going to take less. But if you just had an hour a day set aside for that, and you time managed that, it would change your life. And then as you start building some momentum and getting some success, now you can do some different things, like with Jeff, where he has Mojo Dialer, and they're calling through all of these different leads, right? It's making, how many calls does it make at one time? 3? Do you have the 8 dialer?
3.
Three line dialer. I'll speak. It's he's dialing.
Yeah, so they're calling 3 people at a time, waiting for somebody to pick up the phone, and then Jeff is jumping on there, right? And that's how he's able to jump in and have this conversation as well, because it's calling for him. But that's only because he had the base and the foundation already. Jeff did not start there. right? Like he had to know the skills first of what to say. He had to have the discipline on his time management that he was doing it every single day. And then he was like, okay, I got this. What's next? I got this. What's next? So you can always add and adjust to your plan. But if you don't have that plan to begin with and know that you need to make 8 contacts a day, it's irrelevant, guys. You guys are just guessing. And so this is where the time management and stuff comes into play. Along with, another thing on time management, Jeff also had jumped in and said early risers, right? Like that is one of the most common themes I have seen amongst every successful person as well. That's time management as well, right? They get up and most of the time they take care of themselves first, right? And this is where I think Kelly Jones is actually the most successful one in that relationship because she forces Jeff to get up early. She forces, right? Like they are the best accountability partner I've ever seen. Jeff, it's time for the gym. Jeff, you got your call here and there, right? Like they both have different roles in their relationship and their business and stuff like that. And it works beautifully.
Jeff,
Kelly
get
Jones,
off,
talk to me.
get off email.
But I was just gonna say it's Jeff posted something in here about Club Wealth PDS. It's perfect daily schedule. Click on it. It's free for anyone to watch it, but we live by it and we've done it for, over 6 years now, and I've been getting up to go to the gym probably my entire life, like since I was in my 20s, right? So now I get up a little bit earlier because my day starts earlier, but it's my mental state. Like when I don't work out, like I'm a bitch, excuse my language. Like I'm not happy, right? So like I need to have that stress relief. I need to have that moment of hour, 45 minutes sometimes if I don't get my hour right. But if I have that, like it starts my day off right. And it's clockwork, but it becomes a habit. So, but accountability is huge. But also I wanted to make mention on that 3-line dialer, we loaded all of Jeff's sphere in there yesterday, 700 people. Because we said, Jeff, you need to call and invite people to our client event coming up. And dude, he was on it and he made, I think, 100 dials yesterday in like 30 minutes. It was insane.
About 115 dials. The thing about
115.
I have call reluctance, right? So I'll do anything to not make phone calls. And Mojo, you hit a button and it's off to the races, man. You can't stop that dialer. It's just boom, 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 boom. And that's part of what keeps me in it. Because if I had to just hit dial, I'm going to find something else or an email to respond to or something, or a Facebook post to look at. But once that dialer's going, there's silence, which is nice because I can do my text and my emails and stuff, my prospecting that doesn't take my voice. But as soon as somebody answers, I'm on, man. I can't stop it. So pretty awesome.
That's all I have.
Congratulations, guys, both of you guys, because what you're doing is working, and it shows. Same thing with Robert Weichelt, right? It's consistency. I guarantee you, there's a time of day that he's making those calls and stuff every single day, reaching out. He's building, his training and mentoring program and stuff like that. Again, you can start to see these patterns with everybody there that have some sort of success. So I love it. We got consistency, right? We have time management at this point in time, which encompasses a lot of different things. What's something else that you guys notice?
Hey, Larry, it's Joseph. You mind if I share something?
That's why I asked, brother. Please lead us.
So I've been coached by Anthony Chavez consistently, and one of the things that I'm really working on is making sure that my commitments, like the things that I've decided to commit to, are truly in line with my goals and my priorities. I think for some of us, if you're like a people pleaser, you find yourself being committed to and working on a lot of things that eat up a lot of time that aren't even part of your real goals. They might be part of other people's. And so like for any people pleasers out there, just, maybe put a question mark there and see if there's awareness. Are you finding yourself, really integrated in everyone else's goals and everyone else's focuses and priorities and foregoing your own, because that's being out of alignment. So I think that's really important. If the people are uber successful, they know how to say no because they know it's not in alignment with them. Larry White's an amazing example of that, for example, as a someone to look up to in that regard.
And it's a respectful no, right? Like it's a
Sure.
respectful no. Like it's not that I don't think it's a good idea or anything like that. But like one of the things is, Joseph Limo has been trying to get me to create a training course. Like I think it's a great idea. It would take me away from what I am currently doing that is knocking it out of the park right now. Right. And so who knows, at some point in the future, maybe that changes, or maybe I find somebody else that would be a better fit to create that content in that training course and stuff like that. But that's a really big one, Joseph Limo. I tell a lot of people this, like the more that you take care of yourself, the more you will help be able to take care of others. Because if you're exhausted and burnt out, etc., you take that home to your friends, you take that home to your family, you take that home to your pets, right? You're mean to your pets for no particular reason and stuff like that because you had a bad day, right? Like it drags on into every aspect of your life. So take care of yourself first, right? Equate it to kind of like a cup of water, right? If I had some and Suzanne was thirsty, so I gave her some, and then Kristen was thirsty and I gave her some, and then Jeff, and then Art, right? And then I was like, well, damn, I'm thirsty too. Oh my gosh, there's no water left. Like if I die, I can never give them any more water at that point in time. Right. But if I have water in my system, now I can go back to the source and I can get more and more water for them. And now I can give some more to Kelly and to Scott and stuff like that. And I can keep doing that, but only if I take care of myself. Like self-care, like is not selfish, right? Like it's needed. And a lot of times, we get so wrapped up and our heart is in the right place that we're trying to do the right thing and help other people, but it can't be at the expense of yourself, if that makes sense. So
And Larry,
great point there, Mr. Lima.
What's great, and this is what I appreciate about you, is that I'm obviously learning in experience of what this is like. Then your yeses become hell yeah. And that's where everything shifts. And that's, again, Larry, you're a great example of that. Because you know how to, filter those decisions, your yes is a hell yes. And then that just that shifts everything as far as, how you even engage, begin, and really attack what you're going after. So thanks for that leadership, buddy.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's really true as well, right? Like I don't say yes to as many things as others, but if I tell you yes, I'm going to do it. If I tell you yes, I'm going to be there. If I tell you yes, like if I commit to it, like I'm 1,000% in, which is why, like I have a couple of calls with Darren Cottrell today working on new business opportunities for this group. Jeff and Kelly came down and we were working with, 3 or 4 different asset management companies and stuff that we met. All why? Because so much of our group does that default space, and we are committed to having the best default organization in this next cycle, right? And being able to help align everybody for success when it comes down to that. So yeah, you're right. It's a hell yes. If I tell you yes, like it's going to get done. It's going to get done pretty quickly, most likely at that point in time. So I love it. Who else has something about, successful people that they see these trends in? Well, let me, talk to me.
I'll interject.
I'm
They're
sorry.
constantly learning, constantly reading.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can find that. So EXP just came out with a book club, right? Where you can see what Glenn Stanford, what Leo Pareja, right? What the leaders are reading within our group, right? Within our leadership and stuff like that. And like, here's the thing. I mean, Glenn Sanford is a billionaire, right? Because he had, he's a billionaire. Like, I want to know what a billionaire is reading right now. But that's a really good point, is that they're constantly learning. And that could come from reading. That could be trying different things, right? Testing different scripts, testing different systems and all of that. But that is a great point. And I see Monica put in there, you know, confidence and stuff as well. And when you have the right business plan, you know the shit's going to work, right? It's like that confidence comes from, like, when you test it, you see the results that you're getting. So now you just need to do the same thing over and over and over again, right? And now I see Kathy Ryan putting in visualization. This was one that I was going to say, like, they dream big, right? They have such big fucking goals that it scares the hell out of other people, so they don't have competition, right? Because it's only impossible until somebody goes out there and does it. That's the only time it's impossible, is if you think that you cannot do it. Like, pick up any of these goddamn books that these people are reading, and it's about somebody that started from nothing, that had no opportunities, but they had a vision, right? They had this big, audacious, scary goal that was so big above themselves that, and then they created a plan on how they were going to attack that. And they got knocked down so many damn times until they didn't. Until that one opportunity. Until that one person came into their life. Till they got that loan. Right? So are your, you know, I guess I would ask you, are your goals big enough? Are your dreams big enough? Right? It doesn't always happen in the time frame that you want. But the lessons that you learn along the way will make you so much stronger as a person, as a human, and everything else.
Larry, I've never heard that before, that your goals are so big that you don't have competition. That's pretty badass.
Right? Like, fuck it. Like, you know, people are like, oh, well, I could do that. Cool. Like, it's taken me 17 years to get here. This was not a year. This was not just being at EXP or anything else, right? For this group to come together and to set up for these next 4, 5, 6 years of business. Cool. Like, you can compete with me, and yeah, maybe you do it in half the time. So maybe you get here in 9 years. You know how much farther ahead I am going to be at you than you at that point in time? Because I'm not stopping, because I fucking love this. Right? Like, I'm having so much fun and we are gaining so much steam every single day. Like, I'm not going to sit back and just go sip Mai Tais. Well, I might do that too, but those going to be small opportunities. That's not going to be what I'm doing every single day, right? Like, I'm going to have some relaxed time and stuff in there as well, but I'm not stopping. I'm just building better, bigger relationships, better agents and stuff to join our group that add more value, that can bring us more content, that can help us grow in different areas and stuff like that. And you see this, like, you know, even within EXP, you know, I see everybody's numbers and stuff like that within, you know, all of the top influencers or people with large organizations. And I see Jeff and myself, like, moving up the ranks. You know, EXP has relatively stayed stable, like 94 to 96,000 agents for the past couple of years now. Right. And a lot of agents in these alphas and betas groups and stuff like that, like, you see their numbers kind of pulling back, and you see our group continuing to grow. And I truly believe it's because we have add so much massive value to people. Right. Now, not everybody stays, and that's totally fine. right? Sometimes you have to go learn that the grass is not greener on the other side, and I'll be here at open arms and stuff whenever that time is right. But again, it's all of you guys that make this special, right? It's all of us together that are building this group. And that's where I encourage you guys, like, add value to this group, right? Tap in, because if you don't tap into everything that we're building, it's irrelevant, right? If you know, if you're in the REO and default space and you don't have your portal set up, like, I can never assign you a property. Like, I just can't do it, right? Because that's what the client's asking for at the end of the day. If you're not learning, if you're, you know, making calls and stuff every single day, and, you know, you're not using Mojo Dialer and learning from Jeff Russell, or if you're using the auction platform and not getting the results of Robert Weichelt, it's like, why are you not tapping into these resources, right? If you're newer in the business and you haven't taken Joseph Limo's 0 to 6 figure in 20 weeks, like, what are you doing? Like, that was created by by and with all of the people here to get you a jump start into this real estate program, right? Into this real estate life. If you're not doing 6 figures, like, damn, wouldn't 20 weeks help with that? Like, take the next 20 weeks to learn the tools, systems, resources, and stuff that you need. But again, if you don't do that, right, like, just switching over here to EXP is not the easy button, right? Like, this has all the tools and platforms, and this group has everything that you need to tap into. But if you don't do the work, it's not going to do the work for you. But we will find the right person that does want to work with us and add more value and stuff as well. So I appreciate all of the content and discussion and stuff this morning, guys. Any other closing remarks or anything like that before we call it a day?
Well, I really think that everyone contributed to a real blueprint. I think if everyone here literally, you know, filtered through their business or what they're up to through what we just discussed, I mean, we can all have an incredible amount of momentum, like, heading into like fall and winter. Like, we can have dramatic change here. So thank you for that. I mean, I wrote it down, and to me, it's like, yep, that's the blueprint. So, and it's not hard. It's not hard for us to think through, but what are we going to do with it? This is why this is my favorite call every single week, because of all of you guys and like everyone pouring in. But just come here and feel good for the day. Like, I would be doing everyone a disservice if I just came and sucked energy that way. Like, I got to go and do something about it. So that way, when I show up, like, there's growth and there's movement. So thank you guys. And thank you, Larry. I just really appreciate your leadership, buddy.
Absolutely, man. I love all of you guys. I thank all of you guys. Go out there, kick ass this week, guys. Right? Go out there. Like, if you don't have a business plan, create one. If you don't know how to do that, like, reach out to some of our coaches, trainers, jump into Joseph Limo's 0 to 6 figures in 20 weeks, right? Like, tap into the resources, guys, and use it. But I love you guys, and I thank you guys. Rock it this week, and I will talk to you guys next Friday. Have a good one. Son, Larry.